The Marine Park plan is drawing the most criticism from commercial and recreational fishermen. Joining me now is Martin Exel. He's the chairman of the Commonwealth Fisheries Association and he joins me now from Perth. Martin Exel, what impact do you think this announcement is going to have on your industry? How many people might be put out of business?
Kim, I think a massive impact. You take away 40% of available water. The many thousands of commercial industry around Australia are going to have significant concerns and worrying night to night.
Well, the Prime Minister was saying that in terms of the impact on commercial fishing, she says it'll only be about 1% of current commercial activity.
That worries me particularly. I've been very disappointed in some of the information that's been coming out. Clearly, you take 40% of available water away, and the impact is massively greater than 1% on the industry. We worry that immensely. There's been no finalisation of any socio-economic impacts, no information for families, for the industry, for regional communities on how that money is going to be provided. And while it may be laudable to go for setting aside the world's biggest protected areas, there are humans, there are people and Australian workers involved here, and it's a very serious worry.
On that issue of compensation, the Prime Minister says that it will be in the vicinity of $100 million. She says it'll be worked through on a case-by-case scenario. The Fisheries Minister, Joe Ludwig, has announced this afternoon that some of that money might even flow to fishermen before these marine parks are even declared. So they're trying to give the appearance that they're going out of their way to compensate your industry.
I think it's great if there is a process set up. The faster that can happen, the better. To give you an idea, with the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park, the government thought it was going to cost $8 million and it ended up costing $250 million. So I think we need to be very careful with that minor figure of $100 million. It's going to be a great deal more expensive than that. The industry aren't against marine protected areas. We did put up submissions covering around a third of the economic zone. It's all about where you put those areas, and that's the disappointing thing.
Give me some examples of what the effects will be. For example, in the southwest of WA and in the Coral Sea, for example.
Southwest of WA, there are a large number of shark fishermen in both West Australia and South Australia that will be now unable to fish in areas which have been their traditional grounds. There are lobster fishermen off West Australia who will now be unable to catch rock lobster in certain areas. In the Coral Sea, there are some tuna fishermen who will be unable to keep fishing altogether, while others, foreign fishermen, are fishing just over the line in the areas around Papua New Guinea.
Now, you mentioned a little earlier that the industry had made submissions and made some suggestions of perhaps where these marine parks could be created. So you're really making it clear that you have tried to influence this process and you were prepared to give up some areas. But are you worried that you've just been outmanoeuvred by the environmentalists?
Oh, I think there's no question. Probably the most disappointing thing for me is, as an industry, we haven't been able to get our message across. I think the environmental money from the United States that drove the lobbying was very effective, and I think it's something we're going to have to reflect upon.
But what do you mean the money from the United States?
Well, the majority of the funding for the environmental lobby campaign came through foreign philanthropic trusts who funded the campaign in Australia. So this is about a marine protected area zone for the entire world, really, and it's just the shame that Australia is going to bear the brunt of what is poor management in the Northern Hemisphere, and people have lost sight of the fact we are rated as some of the best, most sustainably managed fisheries in the world.
So a final question, Martin Exel, how might the industry be able to fight this?
I think very difficult. I think for us now it's a matter of ensuring those people that are impacted are adequately compensated, and we will of course put in submissions along the way.